Hi everyone. Hi everyone. So I'm finishing up this series. It is a beautiful fall. I'm going to turn it this way. It is a really beautiful fall up here in the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont. So the Vermont Super 8, what is it? This is a recap for you. It is 640 miles of bike packing through the state of Vermont, and it consists of 360 miles of the South Lobe and 280 miles of the North Lobe. And it forms a figure 8 through the state of Vermont, and it is mostly a little bit of pavement, but mostly gravel roads and single track. So most of the time you're on roads that are only available to horses and ATVs, and some of it is single track. Some ATVs can't even get through there. So the day started off in Montpelier with tons of rain, so that certainly affected a lot of the roads that we were on. And I want to also let you know that it also includes 60,000 feet of climbing in those 640 miles. So I made it 5 nights, and some days that I was climbing 8,000 feet of elevation, some days a little bit less, around 6, and had brake failure 3 days. So after the third time, I knew that it was over. Like, I couldn't keep running to a bike shop every day to get my brakes fixed. So I chose to sleep overnight next to a river in the Green Mountain National Forest, which was just absolutely amazing. There were some times that I was a little nervous and scared during the night too, but I tried to focus on just listening to the river, control my mind not to get scared and out of control. And I just had 3 more miles to get out of the forest, and then I was in Bennington, Vermont, at that point, and there's nowhere to stay, so that's why I chose to stay overnight there. And then I had to call it at that point. I had my Garmin InReach, which if you do things like this, you really need to have. So it is a satellite tracking device, and also it has an SOS button on it too. So in case you get into some serious trouble and need to call an emergency crew, then most often that the satellite will be able to reach and set out your signal. But it's a good way to track, and then also to send messages to people just to let them know that you are safe or that you need help. So that night I used my InReach Garmin and texted Megan to come and get me. And so the next day I set out in the morning. The film crew came out and filmed a little bit, and I had a cup of coffee. There was another bike packer that came through, and I made him a cup of coffee, and I just wasn't in a huge rush. And it was a little over 3 miles to actually hike out of the national forest. So on some of the flats I was able to pedal, some of the inclines I was able to pedal, but I had to walk. It was actually a 3-mile descent, and I had to walk the whole thing, which was heartbreaking. So these are some of the things that I really learned. I learned a lot about myself, overcoming fears, overcoming my fear of the dark and being by myself at night was huge. Also taking care of myself. All I had to do every day was ride my bike and eat and take care of myself at night. So eat and drink. Hydration is key. And I had a water filtration system, so body of running water, clean running water I could filter and drink out of. And the one day I did actually find a spring, and I was able to refill the water there, and it was just absolutely tasty. So I learned how to take care of myself, and I learned that I could do this on my own. And I was able to bike over 200 miles and crazy elevation over the course of 5 nights and part of 6 days. And one of the most important things is because a lot of times you're eating like processed foods and things like that, and the next day when I wasn't taking my supplements or eating my really good protein bar, that I felt really sore, really inflamed. But when I took my supplements and made sure that I was getting good quality protein bars in, that I felt so much better and felt stronger every day on the climbs. So when I saw Megan when I was just coming out of the forest, it was bittersweet because I was so happy to see her, but also knowing that it was over was really disappointing, sad. I was frustrated too because the nearest bike shop was 68 miles away, and I couldn't run my bike 68 miles to the nearest bike shop without brakes. So those are some of the things that I learned. And also, like, this was a big deal for me. Like, there were some times that I was wake up in the middle of the night in a panic just about planning, about researching where I was going to be and the route. It was just very daunting. But when I was doing it, it didn't seem that big. So, and I like to say too that I actually did more miles than Ted King did. He attempted the Vermont Super 8 in the summer. After he did Unbound Gravel. So I like to say that I was able to make it. He made it 180 miles. I made it a little over 200. So let me know if there's something that you feel like there's a big hairy goal and scary and you're not sure whether you should do it or not, but what you found out about it, what you'd like to do. Are you planning to do it? And reach out and let me know, like, what is it about what I've done and shared with you? What resonated with you? I would love to hear your thoughts on that. And if you have any questions, let me know about bike packing. I'll be doing a little bit more information about, what it is and how you can get started and what that looks like. So drop me a comment if you found that this was entertaining, useful, helpful, or just inspiring. I hope so. All right, take care.